This is the Polikarpov I-153 biplane, and it's the fastest biplane fighter ever produced in the world. Probably the fastest biplane, I think. I haven't researched it fully, but this was built back in 1939 after the Polikarpov monoplanes. Same engine, 1,000 horsepower, 20 foot long, staggered wing biplane, pneumatic undercarriage, more advanced than the I-16. 279 mile an hour it was doing back in 1939, which was a phenomenal speed for a biplane, still is. In terms of a pilot's aeroplane, we're still learning, because unfortunately this was going to be flying for the big air show here. We've only had one flight with it, which was pretty well publicised. We had a undercarriage problem.
Okay, Tom, it's definitely not down, and it's quite a lot too. It's quite a lot down. Yep, I can see the wheel through the little window at the floor. I can see where it is. How tight is that cable? Bloody tight. It's bloody tight, because I gave a pretty reasonably solid push with the lever before I stopped, clicking the lever backwards and forwards. Give it a go, so I'll be pulling the fuel off and trying to get rid of the mag just on the final. Here we go. Everybody ready? We're all ready, Tom. Good luck. Yeah.
That's why it's not flying this weekend. Damage was light, but the time frame and the few parts we needed, we put it to one side to concentrate on our flying aircraft. So we'll be fixing this after Easter, and we'll be flying it again in the very near future. We've got pilots all very, very keen to fly it. It's being sought after. It's acknowledged and expected to be a beautiful aeroplane to fly. I've spoken with the Russian test pilot who's done all the test flying on the Polikarpovs, and he just said it's absolutely delightful.
There are only 9 flying Polikarpovs left in the world, with 8 all flying here together, a world's first since 1945. Even more impressive considering 6 years ago they were wrecks lying in the Russian tundra. It's a tribute to Sir Tim Wallis and his Russian adventures. These 3 were restored in Russia before being shipped to Wanaka for their world debut at Warbirds over Wanaka 2000.
Absolutely love flying the Chaika. It's a very exciting fighter to fly. It is a fighter aircraft. It flies and feels like a fighter in the air and handles like a fighter. It's extremely maneuverable, very fast, and probably has claims to being the best biplane fighter ever produced. A very interesting little fighter to fly. As a fighter pilot, of course, I was particularly interested to feel the handling of the aircraft and to experience how maneuverable it was. And I find that it's a very heavy aircraft to throw around the sky. During formation aerobatic practice and tail chase practice for the air show and a little bit of simulated air combat manoeuvring with Tom Middleton and the other Chiker, the aircraft is extremely heavy on the controls. It has no trims, and so you can't take the load off in normal flight or in aerobatic flight. So you've just got to use two hands sometimes and pole the aeroplane around the sky. For all that, a very effective fighter, quite well armed, and there was no doubt that although it was outclassed by the Messerschmitt 109 when the Germans attacked Russia, it gave a very good account of itself, and a Chiker well handled against a Messerschmitt would certainly have kept the Messerschmitt pilot very much on his toes, and nothing was given until the end result. Quite interesting to fly in terms of the pure flying because of the characteristics, the tail wheel characteristic and the fact that so much of the airplane is in front of the pilot. If you look at the aircraft side on, you can see that almost 2/3 of the aircraft is in front of the pilot. Big wings, big engine.
The I-16, known as the Rat or Little Donkey, appeared several years before the I-153. It took part in the Spanish Civil War. One of the 5 here carries those markings. The I-16 and I-153s made up by far the bulk of Russia's fighters when Germany attacked Russia. Although outclassed by the later German fighters, they nevertheless played a vital role. And these 5 survivors are definitely crowd pleasers. Karpovs haven't seen active duty for over 50 years, but pilot John Langham has managed to sustain a hit.
What's for lunch, Garth?
Did it make a noise?
I felt the thump. Yeah. I felt the thump, but didn't see anything. And then it was just off the airfield. As we did that line abreast pass, the last pass to finish, and I felt a bit of a thump, and then, of course, as we climbed up, joining on Tom, fortunately I was on his left, so he just looked back and said, "You've had a bird strike."
We'll clean her out. We'll have her flying again today.
Yeah.
We've got to fix our webbing in the main spar there.
Hey, the only one thing, Jeff.
What?
Who gets the duck?
You can have it.